Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Every person is born with the seed of transformation already within them. But like any seed, it does not grow simply because it exists. It requires the right conditions, stillness, discipline, struggle, and nourishment for it to break through the darkness of the soil and reach toward the sun. Life is not about finding yourself. It is about cultivating yourself day by day, moment by moment, breath by breath. Change is not something that happens to you. It is something you become through conscious intention. The mind is the first gate. Before the body moves, before the words are spoken, before the path is taken, the mind makes the first decision. Yet for many, the mind is an unruly guest, reactive, restless, easily disturbed. If the mind cannot be still, how can the path be clear? To transform your life, you must first learn the art of mastering your own thoughts. Not by force, but by awareness. Not by suppression, but by understanding. The mind is like water. Agitated, it becomes cloudy. Still, it reflects everything with clarity. Most people are chasing change outside themselves. They look for new habits, new routines, new opportunities. But if the roots remain unchanged, the fruit will taste the same. A person with the same mindset, carrying the same inner conflict, will repeat the same patterns, no matter how many times they change their environment. True transformation is internal. It begins when you turn your attention inward and begin to observe. Not judge, not resist, but observe. Silence is a teacher. In silence, you will begin to see what has been hidden by the noise of the world. You will hear your fears speak. You will feel the tension stored in your body. You will notice the impatience in your breath. When you sit with yourself without distraction, you meet the truth of who you are, and only from that meeting can you begin to choose who you want to become. Discipline is not restriction. It is liberation from chaos. The structure you build into your life becomes the framework for your freedom. A daily routine rooted in awareness and presence becomes the foundation upon which your highest self can emerge. Waking early, moving the body, quieting the mind, setting intentions, these are not burdens. They are gifts to your future self. There is no transformation without struggle. The discomfort you feel is not a sign of weakness. It is the fire that forges strength. A sword does not become sharp by being left untouched. It must be placed into fire, beaten into shape, and refined again and again. In the same way, your challenges are not curses. They are invitations to rise. Each time you face resistance and choose to grow instead of retreat, you take one step closer to the person you were meant to become. Too many people wait for motivation. They believe that a wave of inspiration will come and carry them forward. But the wise do not wait. They act even when they don't feel ready. Especially when they don't feel ready. Action creates movement, and movement creates clarity. The path becomes clear only as you begin to walk it. The first step is not about perfection. It is about courage. Emotions are not enemies. They are messengers. Anger shows where boundaries have been crossed. Sadness shows where love has been lost. Fear shows where growth is waiting. Joy shows alignment with the present moment. When you welcome your emotions, rather than resist them, they will teach you. When you run from them, they will chase you. Let them rise. Let them pass. Let them guide you, not control you. To transform your life, you must live intentionally. Every breath is a choice. Every word you speak is a spell. Every step you take is a direction. Nothing is neutral. You are either aligning with growth or slipping into comfort. Comfort is not your friend. It is the soil in which your potential quietly dies. Choose the difficult road, the path that challenges your ego, the practice that humbles your pride. That is where the treasure lies. Time is precious. Every second that passes is a seed that will never be planted again. Be mindful of how you spend your time. Do not let the hours slip through your fingers in mindless scrolling, empty conversations, or unconscious habits. If you want to change your life, begin with how you live each day. Days become weeks, weeks become years, and years become a life. Live as if every day matters, because it does. The body is your temple, not because of how it looks, but because of what it allows you to do. A strong body supports a strong mind. Movement is not just exercise, it is meditation in motion. Through discipline of the body, you learn patience. Through endurance, you learn resilience. Through pain, you learn presence. Treat your body with respect. Feed it with intention. Move it with purpose. Gratitude is a transformative force. When you shift your attention from what is missing to what is present, you awaken a powerful energy. Gratitude opens the heart. It softens the struggle. It sharpens the senses. Start each day with appreciation For your breath, your body, your lessons, your path. What you appreciate grows. What you ignore fades. Let gratitude be your compass. You are not your past. You are not your mistakes. You are not your circumstances. You are the awareness behind it all. The observer that has watched every joy, every fall, every decision. If you want to change your life, you must change your story. Not the facts, but the meaning you give them. A wound can become wisdom. A failure can become fuel. A dark season can become the doorway to your awakening. The world will offer you distractions. It will tempt you with comfort. It will try to convince you to play small, to stay safe, to follow the crowd. But within you, there is a voice, a whisper, quiet yet persistent. That voice knows who you truly are. That voice remembers your purpose. To hear it, you must silence the others. You must retreat from the noise and listen, not with your ears, but with your being. Simplicity is power. Complexity often hides avoidance. Strip away what does not matter. Let go of possessions, relationships, habits, and thoughts that drain your energy. What remains will be real. What remains will be strong. Do not seek more. Seek less but deeper. A few meaningful actions practiced daily will transform more than 1,000 random ones scattered in chaos. Self-mastery is not about control. It is about harmony. Align your thoughts with your values. Align your actions with your truth. When what you think, say, and do are in unity, there is no inner conflict. There is peace. There is strength. There is clarity. And from that clarity comes power, not over others, but over yourself. That is the highest form of power. You must learn to walk alone, not because you are meant to be lonely, but because the path to your highest self cannot be walked by anyone else. Others may walk beside you for a time, but your steps are yours alone. Solitude is not emptiness. It is space. Space for reflection, for recalibration, for renewal. In solitude, the soul speaks. In solitude, the spirit grows. Forgiveness is not a gift to the one who hurt you. It is a liberation of yourself from the chains of the past. Carrying resentment is like drinking poison and hoping the other will suffer. Let it go. Not because they deserve it, but because you do. Because your energy is sacred, and it must not be tied to what cannot be changed. Forgive, not to forget, but to be free. Your breath is the bridge between the mind and the body. When you are lost, return to it. When you are anxious, return to it. When you are distracted, return to it. Inhale awareness. Exhale resistance. The breath is always here. It is the most ancient tool, the most powerful teacher. You need nothing outside yourself to begin transforming your life. Everything you need is already within you. Be like the bamboo, flexible yet deeply rooted. It bends in the storm, but it does not break. It grows in silence. It thrives in simplicity. Your power is not in aggression. It is in adaptability. It is in knowing when to stand firm and when to yield. The world changes. Seasons change. Your practice must evolve, but your essence remains. What you seek is not in the distance. It is here now, waiting to be uncovered. Purpose is not something you find. It is something you live in every small action, every chosen habit, every mindful breath. Do not wait for a sign. You are the sign. Do not wait for the perfect moment. This moment is already perfect because it is real. If you stumble, rise. If you fall, learn. If you are tired, rest, but do not quit. Transformation is not a straight line. It is a spiral, a rhythm, a dance of growth and retreat. Progress is not perfection, it is consistency. One breath at a time. One day at a time. One decision at a time. Do not fear being a beginner. The master was once where you are. The difference is not talent, it is commitment. It is humility. It is the willingness to fall 1,000 times and rise 1,001. The beginner's mind is open, curious, ready to receive, ready to grow. Protect that mindset. Feed it with courage. You are not here by accident. There is a reason you were drawn to the path. Trust it. Walk it with sincerity. Let your life become your practice. Let your presence become your teaching. Let your journey become your offering. And in doing so, you will transform not only your own life, but the lives of all those you touch. Transformation begins not in the world around us, but in the inner world we often neglect. The greatest shift you will ever experience begins with the quiet turning of the mind toward itself. People spend years trying to change their habits, their careers, or their relationships, believing that if they rearrange the outer pieces, inner peace will follow. But if the root is not changed, the fruit cannot be different. The mind is the root. It is the command center of your life. Thoughts precede action, belief precedes effort, and perception colors everything. The one who does not master the mind becomes a slave to reaction, emotion, and conditioning. If the mind is full of noise, fear, judgment, or distraction, then everything it touches becomes a reflection of that turmoil. Stillness is the beginning of mastery. Silence is not the absence of sound, it is the presence of awareness. In silence, you begin to see what is truly happening inside you. The stories you tell yourself, the fears that shape your decisions, the doubts that whisper when no one is watching. Inner mastery does not come through suppression or escape. It comes through courage. The courage to observe, to feel, to stay present. The courage to question your patterns. When you become aware of your thoughts without judgment, a new space opens. In that space, you are no longer the thought. You are the witness. And the witness can choose a new direction. This is how transformation begins. Discipline is misunderstood. Many think it is harsh, confining, or restrictive. But true discipline is the path to freedom. It is the key that unlocks potential. Without discipline, there is chaos. Without routine, there is distraction. Without structure, the mind drifts, the body weakens, and the spirit dims. A disciplined life is not about punishment. It is about alignment. When you wake early, you honor the power of the day. When you move your body, you communicate with the physical vessel that carries your spirit. When you sit in stillness, you meet yourself beyond the noise. These are not chores. They are sacred acts. They are a return to the present. People search for freedom in pleasure, in indulgence, in avoidance. But that freedom is temporary, shallow, and often leads to bondage. The freedom that comes from discipline is lasting. It is rooted in strength, clarity, and purpose. Discipline builds self-respect. Each time you keep a promise to yourself, you become stronger. Each time you push through resistance, you reclaim power. The greatest artists, warriors, thinkers, and healers did not rely on motivation. They relied on discipline. Motivation comes and goes. Discipline remains. Discipline is a path to harmony. It unites the body, mind, and spirit under one intention. It gives shape to your energy. It aligns you with your purpose. Without it, you drift. With it, you ascend. Pain is a part of the path. Discomfort is the currency of growth. Yet many spend their lives avoiding struggle. They seek the path of least resistance, not realizing that resistance is the very thing that shapes you. Without challenge, there is no transformation. Like a sword that must be placed in fire, beaten, and refined. The human spirit becomes stronger through adversity. Pain teaches presence. When you hurt, you are forced to feel. The illusion of control is stripped away, and what remains is raw, real, and true. Struggle teaches humility. It shows you your edges. It shows you what you must release. It reveals what you truly value. In struggle, you meet your fears. You meet your impatience. You meet the parts of yourself that you hide. But if you stay present with the discomfort, something miraculous happens. You grow, you evolve. You find strength you did not know you had. Fear loses its grip. Doubt fades. You begin to trust yourself. You begin to move with courage, not because the fear is gone, but because you have risen above it. The goal is not to eliminate pain. It is to develop the capacity to hold it, to walk, to learn from it, to become deeper, wiser, stronger because of it. This is the gift of struggle. It awakens the warrior within. It awakens the teacher. It awakens the healer. Without struggle, you cannot reach your highest self. Embrace it. Let it shape you. Every moment is a choice. Every breath is a crossroads. The life you want will not happen by accident. It will not be created by chance. It will be shaped by intention. Intention is the root of transformation. When you wake with intention, you align your energy with purpose. When you speak with intention, your words become sacred. When you act with intention, your steps become a ritual. The modern world is filled with distractions, endless noise, infinite stimuli. It is easy to lose yourself, easy to be swept away by what does not matter. But the one who lives with intention is unshakable. They move through chaos with calm. They do not react, they respond. They do not drift, they direct. Living with intention requires presence. You must be here fully. Not in the past, not in the future, but in this breath, this moment. From here, you choose. You choose how you respond. You choose what you value. You choose who you become. This is the power you hold. Simplicity sharpens that power. The more you simplify your life, the clearer your intention becomes. Remove what drains you. Remove what distracts you. Remove what dulls your spirit. What remains is sacred. What remains is powerful. What remains is aligned. Gratitude amplifies intention. When you are grateful, your attention shifts to abundance. You stop chasing. You start creating. You start offering. You start serving. And from that place, transformation flows. Your body is not separate from your spirit. It is the vessel through which your spirit moves. It is not an obstacle. It is a teacher. The way you treat your body reflects the way you relate to yourself. If you neglect it, abuse it, or ignore it, you are disconnecting from the very source of your strength. The body holds wisdom. It remembers every emotion, every trauma, every moment of presence. Movement is a language. When you move with awareness, you speak to your body. You release tension. You build trust. You cultivate energy. The breath is the bridge. It connects the mind and the body. It is always here, always available. When you are anxious, return to the breath. When you are lost, return to the breath. When you are disconnected, return to the breath. With each inhale, you receive life. With each exhale, you release resistance. This is the most ancient, most powerful practice. Emotion is energy in motion. When you suppress it, it stagnates. When you judge it, it hides. But when you welcome it, it flows. Every emotion carries a message. Fear shows where growth is waiting. Anger shows where boundaries are needed. Sadness shows where healing is calling. Joy shows where alignment lives. Learn to feel. Learn to listen. Learn to honor. In doing so, you reclaim power. In doing so, you become whole. The journey of transformation does not end with you. It begins with you, but it flows outward. When you walk your path with sincerity, others notice. When you embody truth, others remember their own. When you live with discipline, presence, and purpose, you become a light. You do not need to preach. You do not need to convince. Your life becomes the teaching. Your actions become the inspiration. Your presence becomes the guide. Every soul you touch is affected by your energy. The way you speak, the way you listen, the way you show up. When you choose growth, you create space for others to grow. When you heal, you break cycles. When you rise, you lift others. This is the ripple effect of transformation. It is never just about you. It is about everyone you will influence, everyone you will inspire, everyone who will watch you and remember their own strength. But this begins with the solitary journey. It begins with the quiet decisions. It begins with the moments when no one is watching. If you wait for approval, you delay your awakening. If you wait for company, you dilute your clarity. You must walk your path even if you walk alone. Especially when you walk alone. In solitude, you meet your essence. In solitude, you find your truth. And from that place, you become a force, a presence, a living example. This is how transformation spreads. This is how the world changes, one awakened life at a time. You do not need more information. You need integration. You do not need more distraction. You need stillness. The path forward is not found outside of you, but deep within the space you often avoid. This is not a journey of becoming someone else. It is a return to what has always been there beneath the noise: clarity, strength, purpose. When the mind becomes quiet, the direction becomes clear. When the body is disciplined, the energy flows freely. When the heart opens, transformation begins to serve not just you, but the world around you. Every breath is an invitation. Every moment is a mirror. Walk with awareness. Move with purpose. Live in alignment. You already carry everything you seek. Now, step forward, not to chase, but to embody.